Greetings everyone, Tim Anderson here, aka Renfell, and welcome to the latest episode in the Lotro Cooking in Real Life series, which is a YouTube and Patreon series where I take recipes from the Lord of the Rings online MMORPG or the Lord of the Rings books, and I make them in my home kitchen. This particular episode is focused on the apple pie recipe from the game. Now, there are obviously a variety of ways to make apple pie. I chose to make apple pie in a cast iron skillet. And the reason for that is because when I started looking at what utensils would have been available around the time, my wife and I were actually just recently watching the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings movies, and one of the things you'll notice is Sam is hauling around this backpack, which has like cast iron skillets and cookware on it. And so I went, yeah, that definitely should do a cast iron version. Plus, cast iron has been around for centuries. So let's do cast iron for the apple pie as opposed to a crystal or glass dish. And so that's what I did. I have to say it was delicious. My wife ate two portions as soon as it came out of the oven, and we proceeded to devour it over the course of like 2 days, which is a butter overload, but oh my god, totally worth it. So, hopefully, you enjoy this cast iron apple pie recipe. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you have not already done so to get updates when new videos are available, and don't forget to check the link below to get the full recipe over on Patreon, excuse me, and pick up a subscription. It's a great way to support what I do here on the channel and what I do over on Patreon as well. So, without further ado, let's jump into the recipe. Get your taste buds ready. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get some butter here in the pan. And then we're going to put that in the oven and let this melt while I'm cutting the apples. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to get the whole pan hot and also get that butter melted so that we can get the brown sugar added to that. But while we're doing that, I'm going to cut the apples. Alright, I'm going to put all the apples in here. We're going to get these seasoned. This is the same pan that I used to make my dough. Or pan or bowl, whatever you want to use. A little bit of flour is not going to hurt anything, so just go ahead and throw all that in there. Alright, next up is half a cup of brown sugar. And then about, a tablespoon or so of, if I can get that to come out right, tablespoon or so of cinnamon. Now get all that mixed up. Alright, now it's time to get this out. This has got the butter in it. You can see the butter is coated that pan. I'm going to put that on top, and very quickly we're just going to add a spoonful of brown sugar to that. And we're going to go ahead and get that all in there. Get that mixed up, and then back in the oven for a few minutes while we prepare the dough. Now what I've got here are a couple of pre-made, well I say pre-made, I made these earlier. This is a buttered dough that we're going to be using for the buttered crusts. You can obviously buy your own if you want. I'm not including my recipe for this because it's just a typical basic butter recipe that you can find on the internet. Or you can buy these from the store. It's up to you how you want to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and get these prepared and rolled out so that we can get the pie going and get the filling and everything. Now all we want from this is we want something that's basically around 1/8 of an inch thick. And we're going to be putting this in the pan. Obviously I've got to do the other one as well, but we're going to get these both ready and get the pan prepped. Alright, now the buttered brown sugar is ready as the base. We're going to transfer this over the oven so that we can get the pie crusts on. Alright, one of the first things we're going to do here is we're going to put our first crust on here. Now again, I'm not doing this perfectly, and it doesn't have to be perfect. The point of this is just to get it in here, get it formed, and then we're going to fill it with filling. Now we're going to go ahead and add our filling. Alright, now it's time to go ahead and put the top on. Now, I don't do things perfect, so if you were doing this with a
crystal dish, you'd be looking for perfection on the edges and everything else. This is not a pretty pie, this is a functional pie. So we're just going to get in here and just kind of get these things, all the edges kind of crimped together and inside the bowl like that. Then we're going to take a knife and we're going to go ahead and cut a few ventilation holes in here, like so. You can put as many as you want. I'm going to put, looks like 5 ought to do it. Maybe 1 in the middle. Something like that. Alright, now we're going to put this in the oven, 350 degrees, for around 45 minutes. Now it's very important, depending on your elevation, the type of oven you have, and so on and so forth. The timing, may be slightly different. So what you're looking for is the top of that pie to be nice and golden brown. Now this is going to bubble as the way we've done it. It's going to bubble over with the butter and some of the fillings and everything else. So make sure you have, in this case, I have another dish underneath to capture all of that so you don't have a big mess when you get done. So make sure that you have that in there too. Otherwise, stick it in there 45 minutes or so on 350 until it's golden brown. And that, ladies and gentlemen, nice and crispy brown on top. It is time to pull that out and eat. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to cut this delicious pie so that we can get right to enjoying it. So, stay tuned. Alright, I had to sit and wait, which is torture because this was way too hot to eat. So I had to sit and wait for this, smelling it the whole time we're taking photos and recording video, but it's now ready for me to sink my teeth into and enjoy. Before I do, I want to remind everybody that if you like this show, if you like the Lotro Cooking in Real Life series, then make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the bell icon so that you get updates when the latest videos are available, and of course, check the links below to go to the Patreon page where you can find the full recipe and pick up a subscription to support what I do here on the channel. In the meantime, I'm going to have some of my delicious apple pie. You know, some people like this with vanilla ice cream. I'm not an ice cream guy. Plus, this is a Lotro recipe from the Lord of the Rings Online. So, they didn't really have the ability to make ice cream that well back then or store it. So, we're eating this in a classic way, which is just the apples themselves and the pie, and I'm going to enjoy. I hope you enjoy as well. So until next time, bon appetit.